What's up, friends? Thank you so much for joining me here today. My name is Nico, and I have been training in dance for over 10 years, and today I'm going to go through some of the key stretches that are really good for getting your splits and your leg holds. They're really going to be targeting our hamstrings and our hip flexors, which are two key areas that you really need to have nice and flexible if you want to really master your splits. So before we get to those stretches, we're gonna start out with a quick warm up. It's important to always warm up before you start stretching because cold muscles are tight muscles. So go ahead and follow along. So we're gonna start by jogging in place, and you want your feet to come and kick your butt behind you. Really tall, popping up. And then switch to the front. High knees, getting up as high as you can. Really wanna get all of our muscles super warm. And then we're gonna switch back to butt kicks. And back to high knees. One more time. And then some jumping jacks. Really make sure you're breathing. And if you want to get really fancy here, you can cross and out. And then we're going to jump in place. You can use your arms a little bit to help you. Forward and back. Side to side. And then we're going to start plie and reach up and back down and reach up. Nice, guys. So if you don't feel a little bit warm after that, a little bit out of breath, then you might want to go back and repeat it, but it's a great place to start with your muscles nice and warm. So the first stretch we're going to do is really targeting those hamstrings. You're going to start out with your feet more than shoulder width apart, so you want to make sure that they aren't too close, definitely not all the way together, but make sure you're standing like comfortably. Maybe not this. So you want to start with your arms above your head, and you're gonna keep your back flat as you go down, and the goal is to hit 90 degrees. Now, if you can only go to here, keeping your back flat, that's completely fine. Most important thing is technique. So we're gonna go down and up, down, 5, 4. Make sure you're keeping your chest up high and your back flat. 3, 2, and 1. Nice. So if you were able to get through that last 10 pretty easily with your back flat all the way down to 90 degrees, you can go ahead and move on to this next move. And if not, that's totally fine. Just stay with the last one and do it with us. We're gonna start at 90 degrees this time and go all the way down and back up. You wanna make sure that you're not resting your fingertips on the ground, but they're just barely brushing against it. You want tension the entire time you're doing this stretch, and you should be really pulling on those hamstrings. Down and up. Again, make sure you're focusing on that flat back. A few more. Last one. Up. Nice. Okay, guys, so the first thing we're gonna do is go into a lunge stretch. And this one is really going to be targeting our hip flexors right here. Some key things to remember are that you want your knee to be above your heel. You don't want to let it come out here and be all crazy. Rein it in and keep a firm hand right here on the floor. Unless this is super comfortable for you, then you can actually put both hands up here. That is more advanced though, so for now, just stick here. And you want to let gravity pull down on your hip right here in this moment. Your left hip should be where you're feeling all of the stretch right here. So we're gonna hold. And then if this is too much for you, you can also put down your back foot like this. But if not, be sure and keep that back leg straight. Again, you're just letting gravity pull down on this hip and stretch out that hip flexor. Okay, the next thing that we're gonna do is push up to have both legs straight, and you want both feet pointing the same way towards in front of you. And if you cannot touch the ground, which is the goal, either use your fingertips or you can hold on to your front leg. But the thing to make sure that you aren't doing is letting one hip hike up like this and open to the front. You wanna make sure they are level and both facing the same way. And we'll hold here too. And you should be feeling this all in this front leg right here. Awesome, so you pull your back leg in here, kind of plie, shake it out a little bit, and let's roll up. Now we can repeat it on the other side. So we're gonna go down into this left lunge. Again, you wanna make sure that this front knee right here is above your heel, not up forward like this. And your back leg should be straight unless you're doing the modified version where your knee is down. You're letting gravity pull your right hip down this time. Feeling the stretch all right here in your hip flexor. And then we're gonna push up. Again, we want both of our toes pointing forward, and we're aiming to get our palms flat on the ground. Remember to drop both hips, keep them in line. So you're getting a nice even stretch, and you should be feeling it right here in the back of your left leg. Another thing to think about while you're doing these stretches is not letting your back arch up like this. You want to keep it relatively flat. Then you can pull your right leg in, plie, shake it out a little bit, and roll up. Great job, guys. So the last thing we're going to do is another hamstring stretch, and I'm going to show you the modified version and then the advanced version. The modified version starts on the ground in a pike, and you're going to reach forward and grab your right ankle and lift up. You want to make sure that your back is completely flat and you're not hunching like this, because that's not doing nearly as much good for you as lifting up all the way straight is. And we're going to hold here. And if this is far too much, you can also hold at your knee down here or up here. And then we're gonna pull it out to the side. And if this is too easy, you can also grab farther up on your foot and bend your arm in to pull it up closer to your body. Make sure you're breathing. And then we'll come back to center and set it down. We're gonna shake out our legs a little bit and do the other side. So you're gonna grab your left ankle and pull up, keeping everything nice and straight. Sticking your chest out a little bit. And we're holding, feeling it all right here in our hamstrings. And then we can pull out to the side. Make sure you're breathing. And then back to the center and down. So if that was hard for you, if you're grabbing at your knee or your back isn't all the way straight, go ahead and stay down here on the floor, and if not, we'll stand up. So we're gonna start out the advanced stretch with grabbing your ankle right here and pulling it out in front of you. You wanna make sure your back is pretty flat and your leg is straight. And then you will sit up. Again, you wanna make sure your leg is straight and your back is flat. And then we'll pull out to the side, using this arm to counterbalance and make sure you're focusing on one point. And then at the very end, before I release, I'm going to do a tilt and I'm going to pull up, 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 and then I will release. Whew. That last one, extra points for you if you can hold it, not quite there yet. And now we're gonna move on to the left side, which for me is a little bit more difficult, but we can get through this together. You're gonna start out holding your left ankle down and then pulling it out, making sure your back is flat, and then pulling up. And out to the side, using your other arm to counterbalance. And then again, at the last second, I'm gonna do a sort of tilt. Pull it up, 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 and down. Great job, guys. Okay, so now that we have done all of that, we're going to start moving into the split stretches. We're gonna start on the left leg. Personally, I like to do that because it's my worst leg and something about saving the best for last or something makes me feel better. But I'm gonna start with the most modified version and then I will get increasingly harder. So at whatever point you feel like you need to stop and stay there, go ahead and hold it. And keep in mind that throughout this entire stretching process, it should be uncomfortable but never painful. So we're gonna start out with the most basic, and your back knee will be on the ground with your left in front of you, and whatever modified version or full version that you choose to do of these splits, your front leg should always be straight no matter what, and your hips should be facing towards the front of you. Now, this right leg is going to come out a little bit, and so you might be turned slightly to the diagonal, but for the most part, you want to think about keeping your hips in line and pointed in front of you. So the next step, whenever we're working to get our splits, is to straighten the back leg. To do this, you can put your hands on the ground and straighten it behind you. When you're doing this, you want to make sure that you're either on the top of your foot or you can be on the side, but you never want to be like this. So top of the foot is preferable, and you'll just stay here. And this will actually get you to get your splits a lot faster than this will because you're using the correct technique. You will always gain flexibility quicker if you're using the right technique. We can hold this. And then finally, we can move all the way down into our splits if we have those. And then the final step is to take your hands off of the ground, which will give you a much deeper stretch than if you're propping yourself up. You can hold here. Again, you want to make sure my hips are pointed out at the diagonal. This is a lot harder, having them completely straight, but not too much. Again, I'm not letting my knee go straight out. This is very bad for your hips. You want to make sure that you're pretty parallel. Nice, guys. So go ahead and come to the middle and shake it out a little bit, and then we can start on the other side. We'll start with our back knee down, right leg in front, just like this. And then if you can, straighten your back leg behind you and hold here. Remember, through all of these, you always want to keep your front leg completely straight, no matter what. And then finally, we slide down. And take our hands up. As you can see, my hips are a bit more aligned on this side because I am more flexible on my right, and so I'm able to get my knee facing all the way down to the ground, which is what you want to do eventually. But if you need to turn it out slightly, it's okay. And we hold here. And then we'll come back to center and shake it out. Great job, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I really had a lot of fun, and I hope you guys did too. You did a fantastic job. Remember to keep stretching as much as you can, and if you have any comments or questions about this, go ahead and leave a comment down below, and please subscribe if you want to see more.
You can find my full video library on Amazon, and it's free for Prime members. You can follow along with me from your TV, tablet, or the Amazon app on your phone, so you can join me for yoga class virtually anywhere.